Section 8 by state: California, Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, California. Pay attention. You gotta love Scotty K, right? I mean, we all. Anyway, California's got the largest Section 8 program out of all the states. They currently get $6 billion plus a year in funding for their Section 8 programs, and which equates to roughly 16% of the entire Section 8 budget across the country. However, when we look at the data, we see some weirdness going on. So let's dive in. First off, you're going to see a bunch of PHAs here in the data that show that they have huge reserves, right? So the one thing to understand about these specific programs and some programs as we get through other states is these are different types of agencies. They're what's called a moving to work agency, meaning they can write their own rules to some degree, and the way that their funding works is less restrictive, and they are not subject to recapture of unspent reserves, which gives them a massive advantage to basically do what they want. And so when we look at some of these PHAs with large reserve balances, you look at the very top one, San Mateo. I went to their website. It does appear that their waiting list is open. However, I have no idea if they're actually issuing vouchers. You've got Oakland there. Oakland's voucher program waiting list is closed. In fact, all of their waiting lists are closed. You've got other ones like Santa Clara that it's unclear to me if their waiting list is open, but it could be. You've also got San Diego, whose waiting list is open until, I believe, the end of February. And to go back on what moving to work agencies are is they create policies that are different than other housing authorities. And generally what happens is they're testing things, right? So like when we talked about work requirements or term limits or blah, 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 different stuff get tested out through MTW agencies before they get rolled out to other housing authorities. And which is why I said months ago, I'm like, work requirements don't really work and term limits don't really work. It's not been successful. Well, because it's been tested at MTW agencies like some of these ones that I have listed here in the data chart. So when you're thinking about these types of programs, they're different. All right, I went back and looked, and it looks like Santa Clara's waiting list is open, so could be an option. Anywho, overall, California's got the biggest budget. They've got gigantic programs. They've got a lot of big programs that are moving to work agencies. So, it's likely that if they don't have their Section 8 waiting list open, they may have project-based voucher program waiting lists open. San Diego actually has a list of different places you can call who do have affordable housing as an option for them. So it's worth taking a look at if you're in California. Check out the website, see what you might be able to apply for, as there could be some opportunities there. However, it's not very clear because of the fact that they're not traditional Section 8 programs. So hope that helps. Thanks.